Welcome back to More Moss to the People. My name is Asa Nilsson and I am your host. Today I have my friend who actually lives in my town with me. Her name is Erica Söderberg, my fellow Swedish sister, soul sister, that I got the pleasure of meeting now several years ago when we were in a mastermind together, and we just kind of got to know each other in the town and realizing, wow, we have a lot in common. We have a lot in common, and we have grown our separate ways, and now we've kind of found our way again to one another. And we'll talk about that. But please, Erica, welcome first. Welcome here.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, so nice. Thank you. I appreciate it, because it's nice to have people that that I actually know in real life on, because it makes you feel a little bit, special. It's special to have you here. So thank you.
Yes.
I would like for you to please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are in the world today.
Yes. Well, where am I in the world? That was a really
Mm,
good question because I've been living abroad. I've been traveling most of my life, my adult
mm,
life, been living in Stockholm and in other countries around the world.
mm.
But now I actually am here in Västerås.
Yes.
After 20 years being away from here, I didn't grow up. Well, I did grow up here. I wasn't born here, but I grew up here in Västerås.
Okay.
So as I got a mom a little bit later, in later years than normal,
Mhm.
most people, I actually moved back to the town where I grew up. So
Mm.
this is where I am today, and from like sort of traveling every week, and I now just move around the block
That sounds
most
much
of the
more
days.
manageable.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So what I do
Hmm.
is I have my own company, so I work a bit from home, and I can also do, of course, work other places. I have my son in school here, 6 years.
Hmm.
6 years old now. He just started school, and then
Yeah.
I work also in a hotel here in Västerås, where I do coordinating events.
Mm. Perfect job for
Um,
you.
yeah, it's
Mm.
actually really, really fun. And then I do have clients as well. So I do energy medicine, like therapy.
Yeah.
And I
Mm.
also I have pod as well.
Yes, you've got a
I
podcast. That's right.
Yes, I do write books. I
Mm.
do a lot of writing as well, and yeah, I'm doing speeches and stuff like that. So and also do interior. So I have like a lot of stuff going on.
She does a lot of stuff.
Yes, yes. But I
You
love that.
do.
So I
Yeah.
just realized that I love that. I do love that.
Mm.
And since I sort of move around the block, I actually have time for that because I'm not moving as much geographically at this point.
Mm.
But I move up a lot in my head, and I move a lot in what I do in my creativity, which
Yeah,
is
oh, for
amazing.
sure. Oh my
Mm,
gosh. You have this skill to be able to do a lot of
mm,
things. Now, I want to
mm,
talk to you about that because, for me, I don't work that way. I personally, I have to kind of not compartmentalize myself, but I get overwhelmed wicked
mm,
fast. And
mm,
the older I get, the more I realize I thought I was good at that kind of stuff, but I'm not, because all it does is stress me out to the nines. And when I hear all these things, my heart starts to race. To
mm,
me, that sounds like you're doing a lot. To
mm,
me, and the premise and the movement of more moss is, yeah, more moss, less mess,
mm.
like in our bodies, minds, and homes, and I mean in our souls and all that. And you somehow, I don't know how, and I have to ask you to explain it, are finding balance in
Mm,
this. How
mm.
how is that possible? Tell me. I have got to know you,
Yeah.
your ways.
This has been a long, long, long process, I have to say,
Mm,
because I come from the fashion industry where
mm,
it was moving fast,
yeah.
like scary fast. And I've realized now I never loved that fast pace.
Mm,
That was not for me, honestly. But I learned to live in that environment, in that
mhm,
industry, and so you have to be in the game.
mm,
But what was happening, what I was really draining myself in that.
of
So
course.
after 20 years, I did that for 20 years. So of course, it's in my whole system to
Mm,
stress and to do things because you
mm,
have to produce, and you have to like
mm,
do things all the time.
sure.
Uh, but as I I think parallel to that, I've had another side, and that has been a soul-led side of part of me that has been sort of trying to pull me in another direction, which has meant that I have taken like 6 different yoga educations. I have been looking a lot into like natural medicine, and also into like eating well, all of this stuff, nutrition. And that has come because I have been really ill myself. I have been through quite a lot of struggling life in different ways that comes from my own illness, and with people around me being ill and actually passing away. So I've been searching for things to actually to manage to go through difficulties and still come stronger out of it. So this has been a long search for me to find a way to heal myself, you know.
Yes,
So I
from
think
the
I mean,
inside.
except from the inside. So I've been collecting a lot of tools, but it wasn't until my son was born that I sort of a lot of things happened before that as well, I have to say. But that was like the final point when I really crashed, you know. I really smashed right into the wall after he was born. I got into depression. I realized that now because it had been so many years of struggle before that. And also, I changed city after he was born, and
You
when
relocated.
I relocated, things started to slow down, and that's when I had to face everything that I had been sort of. I had the signs. I had, you know, I've been seeing it, hearing it for a long time. I knew I had to do stuff, but then it just hit me, and from going to that really low point, like a complete darkness, I have to say, I ended up in. I had to use all the tools that I had been collecting over the years to actually just drag myself up. And from that is when I realized I have to find how should I say it, like a real balance, a proper balance in life, you know.
Because it's showing you, the mirror is showing you it is time now. It is
It is
time.
time.
And
It
what
is
we'll do
time.
is we're just going to shut you down. We're just going to shut you down because you haven't been paying attention to all the knocks. Like they were trying to forewarn you. I mean, it wasn't enough, right? That you had already been through the loss of a sibling, the loss of a best friend, your own illness when you were younger, right? I mean, that is so many things already to deal with, right? And the culmination of grief and how that sits in our bone marrow, and it doesn't go away until we really truly look at it. And you know, you are a deep woman, and you can talk about anything, in which I love. I've always loved that about you.
Thanks.
Because it's not just about doing, right? Because I know
No.
you can do. Oh, I know you can do. But can you be? So let's talk about that, because you said when you introduced yourself that you are also now going into public speaking, and you're
Yeah.
talking about beautiful things, and from human being to human doing. Tell me what that
Yes.
means to you. What does that mean?
First of all, it has the deeper meaning is that you have everything comes from within you. So to be able to come from within you, you have to start to listen. You have to start to hear your inner voice. And to do that, you have to sort of humble yourself in like step by step. And you also have to sort of de-armor yourself. So
That's
that's really tough, really tough. And it's all about getting close to yourself, feeling everything that is you, you know, and seeing everything that is you. So it's everything from shadow work to like every day actually listen to your inner voice, and you have to do it. Sit down and really like just be open to whatever is coming. But you have to do it persistently, because just to sit down, you know, once or just once a week, or no, it's not about that. You have to actually face yourself every day and listen to what is coming, and be like completely open to what that is, whatever it is, and then you have to like take care of that. But with that said, it's nothing you can't do just on your own.
Mm. And you don't need
You
to.
you don't need to,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mm. I find
And
that, I'm sorry, I apologize. Please go ahead.
no, but that is so important that you realize that you sort of have to open up for the help actually. And
Mm.
what I say is like sometimes you just have to give up, and that is like a really really big part of this, because give up for me is not like when people hear give up, it's like it's, oh, you just lay down and you just, oh, I give
Mm.
up, I don't do a shit. It's like it's not
Mhm.
about that.
Mm.
You actually give up
Mm.
to
Give up.
whatever you give up to, like, to
Mhm.
universe, to God, to whatever you want to call it, to like the force. But it's like giving up to a life force. It's giving up to life,
Mm. Allowing life.
allowing life to
Mm.
guide you.
Mhm. Mm.
So
This getting quiet, that whole thing of getting quiet, allowing for the quiet. I find that, people are deathly afraid of that.
mm,
Because they know when it gets quiet, then I have to listen to the noise in my
mm,
head. And we can't
mm,
hear the noise in our head because then we just have all the to-do lists and we have all the
mm,
craziness and the like you said already, the production mentality
mm,
where, the more I produce, the more valuable I am. And I just got to keep going because that's the way it is, because this is the hustle mentality and I have to in order to be, in this world and whatever. And
mm,
that's the lie, of course, that is one of the many lies, but
mm,
the, uh, the getting quiet is, very, very important, and, listening to your inner voice, and you're absolutely right, and I think that, the majority of us, unfortunately, in society today is we are running so hard and so
mm,
fast, from ourselves
mm,
that, uh, what's it gonna take? What's it gonna
mm,
take? So, I'm gonna ask you, you are a single mom. You're raising a beautiful son. He is cuter than
mm,
cute and so smart. And I love your relationship with him. And when we were talking about doing this together, you said to me something really important that kind of just stopped me. And I was like, ooh, that's important. That's important because, you are an entrepreneur. You
mm,
are a sharp businesswoman. You're doing energy healing, you're doing energy medicine, you're making things beautiful. You help people make things look so beautiful. And, those are your gifts. And you decided, I'm going to take a job. I'm going to
yeah.
take a paying job.
Mm,
Now, that's what made me stop was I'm like, you know what? How many entrepreneurs or how many people don't understand that it's not giving up? It's not the whole, okay, I give up the whole thing again, right? Like laying on the floor, like, I can't do it. I'm terrible at this.
mm,
I suck. It's being realistic in a day and age where the bills have to be paid. We have to eat.
mm,
And I get to use my creativity because I do this on the side, and I get to work at this beautiful hotel that
mm,
cares and respects and loves me and loves their guests and loves their employees. And, you're still getting to be a part of something so big. It's an and, it's not an
mm,
or.
mm,
And that to me, I think is a real important message in this day and age where it's so important that everybody is like doing their own thing. Yeah, that's terrific. It's
mm,
excellent. And are you happy? Are you living your life from a place of such stress and such dis-ease that you're
mm,
creating your own illnesses because you don't even realize, okay, you know what would actually help me is if I had $2,000 a month that was coming in steady, that would take such a load off. That would go
mm,
to the
mm,
pressure valve, as
mm.
an example. I mean, I have no idea what you're
Yeah.
earning, but let's talk about that. What was it? I mean, was that hard for you to open up your heart to be able to accept that other career
Absolutely.
choice? Yeah.
Absolutely, because I had a few years now where I actually lived a lot of from savings. I did
Mhm.
I did get some work, but I was also studying.
Yeah.
I do have a
Yes.
son who is growing, he has his activities. He has,
Mhm.
I have to pay the bills, and
Yeah.
it's like increasing costs with a growing child, and I don't have anyone to rely on because I actually had a son of my own,
Mhm.
which means I don't have anyone, I'm not getting money from anywhere else,
Mhm.
so it's just us. Um, and since I'm studying, I'm in my like in-depth studying of the energy medicine this year. I'm just sort of finishing in March. And then I don't have the time to build up the business that I want. And I know that I can't force anything when it comes to the business, because this is the business that I'm gonna, you know, build upon like for years, and it's gonna grow from my soul. This is something, and I know that things are coming, you know, with the right timing.
Yes.
When it's soul led, it will, and it won't be
right.
the timing that I plan for. That I know.
Yes, yes, yes. It's true.
We
We can't shove it. We can't force it.
No.
Mm-mm.
So I managed for a few years to get around, you know, paying it, because it was actually the education was also costing a lot of money,
Yeah, of course.
a lot of
Everything
that.
does.
So it's just like, so I couldn't just live on like filling up with savings to go on with that after 5 years of doing that. And I felt that my nervous system was so stressed out,
God.
because I was like, oh my God, my savings are just shrinking, and it's like, and I need to get my business going. And I know that I can't, and I don't want to force my business to grow from that. I want that to grow from creativity, from the wanting to help people, like really, really help people. And I want to do something good, because I know that is what my soul wants. And so I was like, and I couldn't really find the job that I was, because I was looking for a little bit, and then I was like, I can't really find the job that made sense. Or I applied for jobs that I was overqualified for, so I couldn't get them either. But then I was like, you know, I'm giving this up now. Like, what is meant to come my way is gonna come my way.
It's true.
And then this job came up, and I was like, you know, all the young ones that apply for this one, I'm not gonna get this one, you know. It's because it's a really hip, like popular hotel,
Super
and
trendy hotel.
and you know, working with events and stuff, and but I was like, you know, I just throw in a application, and I got the job.
Yay!
Yay! So and it was amazing what that made to my nervous system, and how that calmed me down, and that gave me the energy to actually work with my own business in a much better way. And things just started to like tick, click, click. It was just
it's like they're
things
falling
happening.
down.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
I love that.
I know that I can't work as much as I do now forever.
Right.
But I know that as I develop my own stuff, and as I do this, I know I'm going to make it work, because it gives energy to one another. But I also listen very carefully to myself. So yes, I don't spend a lot of time on like TV or social media or stuff like that. I do it a bit for my business, yes. But I keep away from those things. And also it might sound boring for some people, but as I have been living very close to myself, and I have been in different periods of time, I've been focusing on different things, and really got to know what I want when it comes to like how I do practice, like how I do my gymnastics, like how I do my what do you call it, the aerobic training or whatever.
Like your daily exercises?
Exactly, my exercise. That's what the word I was looking for. So my daily exercise or my weekly exercise, I've been trying that out for years. I know what I feel good, like the sort of the level that I want to be on, and I know what I like and I don't like. So I had good routines on that. I had good routines on nutrition, you know, in place.
Yeah.
I had good routines to my finances. I had good routines. I've been looking into like my relationships. My spiritual practice is in place. So I have all of these things in place. And I sort of, you know, I scheduled that in very precisely, because then I have the time to float in between. So it's I was describing that to one of my energy medicine colleagues the other day, that like now it feels like, because I've been de-armouring, I've been like taking all of that old structure, that old patriarchic structure is completely, I've actually seen myself in a session where I actually had chopped my foot off and I couldn't walk, because that was when I was running too fast. I was trying to build up. I was trying to build up the new me. Without the new foundation.
Mm.
But now that I have the new foundation in place, that means that I don't know what you call that, klangskål, in
Oh, yeah,
like
one of
the
those
bowl,
bowls that make like a
the sound
noise.
bowl.
Yeah, I don't know.
Exactly.
That's cool. Those things are neat.
So it's like this bowl, that you do make the sound in the
Mm,
sound bowl. It's like I am my own sound bowl,
mm,
which means that I have a very soft structure.
mm,
It is very robust in a way, but it's also it's holding. It's very holding. It's not.
accepting. Ooh,
It's very much accepting. It's sort of like
very
I'm
matriarchal.
floating in that one. Yes.
Yeah. Ooh, which I think is
So.
this is something we talked about before too, was, the moving away from, because you and I both can understand the
Mm,
the the pushing and the shoving and working hard, having the production, which
mm,
is exactly why I've started this entire movement to get away from that, because
mm,
I needed to get away from it. It wasn't that
mm,
I knew anything more than anybody else did. I just needed it.
mm,
And so I
mm,
needed to include more people and attract more people into my life from a place of I need help. And
mm,
I keep repeating these same patterns and these same
mm,
cycles because I don't understand yet that it isn't outside of me, it's actually inside of me,
mm,
that I'm the one that has to be the one to change, not everything around me.
mm,
So when you say that this bowl is, this is you and you're floating in this bowl, and this is the masculine and the feminine in all of us, which we all have, and this is a part of how I believe society is changing now, going
mm,
from the more masculine side to more of a balance of the more feminine, which we need both
mm,
sides. We have to have both sides, otherwise it becomes toppled over the other way.
mm,
So this work that you are doing, and that you are finding this balance in your day and in your life, and that you're scheduling things in so that you can have more peace and more freedom in
mm,
your day
mm,
today, right? And
mm.
versus allowing it, the name of your business is Flows,
Yes.
Flowes. And this is more of it feels like it flows
Mm,
versus, like you said, building a business. You can't build a business on stress called flows.
no.
Which
Exactly.
I'm like, that is so good. That is so right. No, it's so
Yes.
good for you, because when you flipped it, which you
Mm,
have, to
mm,
say, I know you're never ever gonna miss something that's
mm,
for you, right?
mm,
If a door
mm.
doesn't open, it wasn't your door. And
No.
so when we keep trying to push for something, and then you've got the key, you took the key and you open up the door, and that was the key to happens to be a hotel
Mm.
key.
Yes, exactly.
But you opened that door, and it allowed you a moment to feel free and to realize, whew, that was within me.
Yeah.
That was within me because I changed something, and so
Mm,
I got something different. And
mm,
now here you are working with designing in people's homes. I mean, this is all on the side, right? So
mm.
you're working with, tell me, yeah, you speak about, how about, I don't have to talk for you. You tell
Yeah.
us what it is you're working with.
Yes. So right now I do have one client. So I just have a few clients at a time these days
Yes. Yeah.
because I really want to do a good work with the ones
Sure.
that I'm working with, and also if I have an energy medicine client, I do prefer to have sessions at least 3 times because
Okay.
then you can really work deeply with someone.
Mm.
And I also work with nutrition and exercise.
Yeah.
I do yoga stuff as well. I have a group once a month, a group of men actually that I do yoga with.
Mhm.
And also I do speeches sometimes.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I do have this interior client that I work with. So
Mm.
it's like a beautiful apartment in Stockholm.
Mm.
I did
Nice.
finalize most of it before, like the basics of it,
Mm.
before the drawings and everything, before I started my work. And then
Mm.
I'm gonna have like one whole weekend where I'm gonna go to her house and like do all these final decorations.
Oh,
And
fun.
like walking from work, I actually am talking to the carpenters. So I
Right.
done the basic planning for them, and and I work with people that I really like these
Mm.
are
Mhm.
carpenters I've been working for years. I love
Yeah.
them, and
Good.
we communicate really well. So it's
Good.
like I surround myself these days with people that I really like, and
Mm.
my new colleagues as well at work. I love them.
Yeah.
It's funny, funny like loving people, and
Yeah.
it's a lot of love in that house. So it's
Mm.
like
That's nice.
that is what gives me energy, and I've selected all of this, and the people that I hang out with is like I've handpicked them, I have to say.
Mm,
All of you guys that are
we
sort of
have.
in my life, it's like you are in my heart,
Mm,
somehow, all of you guys. So it's
mm.
eh, but
That's
that's
so
taken
beautiful.
years. That's
It
taken
does.
years because
Yeah.
I had to say so many goodbyes. I had to let people go
Mm,
that I didn't want to let
mm,
go of. But once I did that, some people come back, but in another way.
mm.
Some people I've realized that, oh my God, why didn't I just let this go earlier? Um, it's a lot of just figuring these things out, and you can't rush that either. You just have to take it step by step.
Yeah, that's so beautiful that you're saying that. I
Uh,
think that is so important what you just said because it just makes me smile. Uh, it makes me want to hug you because I love
oh,
the truth of that, and letting how hard it is to let people go.
Mm,
And sometimes, that's exactly what we need to do in order to free ourselves.
mm,
And also to have the capacity and the space in our own hearts and our own soul for somebody else to come in to take not to take that place, but
mm.
to fill our heart in a different way, in a different
Yeah.
capacity, and to allow that person to go to another place or whatever, to other groups or whatever. I mean, it is hard, and that's there is grief around that too,
Mm,
but ultimately it is up to us to know, because our body always tells us. Our
mm.
body will
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
tell us the truth. When, people come around, you're like, "Oh,"
Mm,
or you're like,
mm,
"Hi," that the
mm,
difference of the contraction and the expansion, and that you have been separating the wheat from the chaff.
mm, mm,
We have to, and that comes with
mm,
age, and that comes with wisdom, and
mm,
that comes from hurt, that comes
mm,
from experience and living through grief, which
mm.
we all have to. We have to, whether we want to or not. Um, but that I think that also makes us who we are, and then we can
Yeah.
also share that on our path. And you said
Mm,
something also the last time we spoke, which I love, that I wrote it down.
mhm.
We walk each other home. We walk each
Yes.
other home. Yes, we do. Tell me what that means to you.
For me, that means like I have to say that like the biggest thing that I'm talking about when I do speech, I always talk about that when I do speeches. It's about taking upon life in another way. That life is life lessons, that comes to you and for you.
Mhm.
And with that, you will meet a lot of people, on the way.
Mm.
And it's you will meet people that will teach you things that will maybe irritate you to
Mhm.
start to you have to start to see sides of yourself. Is
Mm.
that's all about the shadow work,
Yeah, I love
just
shadow work.
figuring out your shadows.
Mm.
And everyone that you meet is actually a teacher
Mhm.
in one way or the other. And then you can also choose like a coach or someone that you want to follow for a while,
Mhm.
because you get inspired, and someone who somehow makes your heart or your soul sing a little bit more,
Mm.
maybe for a period of time, maybe for a little bit longer.
Mm.
But it's all about like just sort of, opening up the path in like giving more light to the path as you walk along it.
Mm.
And just follow someone else, and then you might go for a little while together, and then you split parts and sort of split ways, and then someone else comes along for a little
Yeah.
while, and you always help each other. Sometimes you have more of a leading role, and sometimes you just equals, or you will actually be taught something,
Yeah. Mm.
and both.
That is
So
so that's right. I'm with you. I am with you. I'm with you on the path right
mm,
now. We're with
yes,
each other.
definitely.
Yeah. And that we're living in this time, in this place, and learning from one another and
Mm,
experiencing life through each other's eyes, through each other's hearts by sharing these beautiful
mm,
stories, because
mm,
this is it. To
yeah.
me, the conversation of watching and witnessing somebody who is going through it and willing to share it while they are on it.
Mm,
It's not necessarily looking backwards and like, oh, I would have done this differently. God knows what the
mm,
things I would have done differently.
yeah.
But today, how do I feel? What do I, if I don't feel good, am I doing something about it? If I don't want to continue to repeat the same
Mm,
patterns, will I choose myself? Will
yes.
I choose myself? And you are choosing yourself. You're choosing you and your boy, of course, because he comes with you. He is you. He is a
Yes.
part of you. So thankful for you being such a superior mother and individual.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm a cat mother, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, but our
No,
time is already gone. My God,
yeah,
the
no.
time goes
I just want to say
crazy.
something
Say,
about this
please.
because it's a lot about actually not being someone. It's
Mm.
actually about removing everything that is not you to
All the
actually
pieces of
find
us.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm,
So talking about grief, I also want to fill that in that one of the biggest grief that I have done is actually letting go of parts of myself that I
mm,
actually liked,
mm,
but that I know now it wasn't me.
mm,
So that is something I just want people to take with them actually, that it's you don't have to chase to be someone or try to be someone. Remove all that stuff that isn't you, and
mm,
the real you will be revealed.
mm,
And give it time.
mm.
Give it time.
I have to ask a question about that now. You know, you cannot pop that in there, and I'm not going to ask you something. So
Yes.
tell me, what does that mean to you? Like, even like you had to release parts of you, even if you liked them.
Mm.
What were like some example or one example of something that you had to release that you actually liked about yourself?
There was a part of me that, like the party girl, that found
Mm,
that what I wanted to be on all the events. I was
uh,
traveling a lot, that um just being fun, being and all this, like I've been, working in the fashion business, and by like being all super trendy and
like
have all
glamorous.
think it's super, super glamorous. And I
Yeah.
do love glamour, but in these days as well, but in a much more uh, simple way, I have to
Yeah.
say.
Like more refined.
Refined.
You've
Refined
refined
is a good
yourself.
word.
Yeah.
That's a really, really good word. Yeah.
Yeah, because you
So
said also that you choose you're very selective about
mm,
what you don't consume too much, which I love. You don't buy
mm,
everything. You don't have to have everything. You're very choosy about what you want. You'll want a couple of things, but they have to be
mm,
the nicest things for you, for what
yes.
you like. And I think that's
Mm,
also a really good lesson for the person that thinks, well, I've got to have Amazon coming to my house every day with deliveries
mm,
of $20 items, where maybe you can have Amazon coming one day with a $150 item that will last you for the
mm,
rest of your life, right?
mm,
It's having a little, it's a different way of thinking, just moderation, right? Moderation in food and clothing and money. You mentioned all these things,
mm.
how um how you have found more peace in your life and more balance in your life by having moderation also in your
Yes.
life.
And much more beauty, I have to say.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's amazing. And I feel
Mm.
that I have more
Mm.
by
And
having less.
but do you think that you also, because this is what I find, this is also why I love working with decluttering, because the more I remove the more clutter I remove, the
Mm,
more I can see. The more I can
yes.
see myself, the more
Yes.
I can see other things around me, and then I can see
Mm,
the beauty in the things that I choose to retain,
mm, mm,
versus continually adding in.
mm.
Um, which is, of course, now we come full circle as to how we are even in this place. But
Yeah.
how do we get to this
Exactly.
place today?
Yeah.
Yes. So, all right. So I just want to ask you about energy medicine, because
Mm.
you said that you offer 3 sessions. What is energy medicine?
Energy medicine is a way of getting to those deeper part of yourselves, like the unconscious things that makes you repeat patterns that you actually don't want to repeat, or makes you behave in a way that you don't want to behave.
Hmm.
So always start with a conversation with NLP, like the
Okay.
neuro
Mm-hmm.
linguistic programming.
Mm-hmm.
So you come to the deeper levels, and then you do like a shamanic session where I can, bring in different elements depending on what the client needs. So I do a diagnose, and I speak actually to the client's soul,
Mm-hmm.
which means that I can never go deeper than the client is prepared for. So sometimes we can just start with a like a long conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and we can start back and maybe give some advice, how to raise your energy levels, and how you can start to sort of get closer to the deeper levels.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I work longer with the client, I can come even further, and I can also help you to release the blockages on a deep, deep, deep level. And we can even, go back in life. We can go
Past
back
life.
to past lives to, we can do like a soul journey of different kinds.
That's cool.
And that is amazing.
That sounds
Really.
very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Do you talk about this on your podcast?
I do. Okay. Yeah. So
Good.
I have my podcast actually with a colleague of mine. She's also doing, the sessions. So
yeah. Well, we're going to tag that in the show notes also, so people can go listen to
yes, and
past
also I would
episodes.
love to give an offer to the listeners who want to
Please.
try it. Yeah, if you want to have like a 20% discount.
Yes.
Because I
Okay.
would love to have English spoken clients as well, because I've just done this in Swedish so far.
Okay. Yes.
But I can of course do it if
So you can
someone
do this
wants
distance.
I can do it distance, and I can do it both in Swedish and English. So up to you.
All right.
But
That's cool.
so I
Good
would
to
love
know.
to bring this offer up here now.
Oh, thank you.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes also, so people can contact you to find out more. And you have a website, and we're going to attach all your contact information in the show notes, because you have a beautiful website and
Thank you.
lots of great information. And just it's nice. It takes you on a journey, just even your website. So I would highly recommend people go check it out. So do you have any last, if someone were to say, I logged in today to hear Erica, and I know I just need to hear this one thing spontaneously, right in your heart. What comes to you? Anything else you want to share?
That you are the light.
Mm-hmm.
All of you guys out there, you are the light. Just take away all that clutter and bring out that light that are you.
Take out the clutter. Yeah. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your heart.
So beautiful to talk to you.
And
you are the light also.
Thank you.
I love your light.
We all are the light, like you said.
Yes,
like you said, my friend. All right. Thank you so much. We'll definitely have to have you back, because I want to find out more about this healing, this energy medicine. Who doesn't need some of that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you for today. And I really appreciate you sharing your heart.
Thank you so much, Rosa.
Thank you. See you next time.
So my pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.